For years, we've all been told the same thing. Keep your HDL cholesterol high, right? It's the good stuff, the hero in our health story. But what if that number we all celebrate on our lab reports, what if it's actually hiding a much, much more complicated truth? Well, let's dig in. So, picture this. You've been working hard, you've lost some weight, and you go to the doctor. They look at your results and give you a high five because your HDL number went up. Awesome. It feels like a total win. But the latest science is asking a really important question. Is that one single number really telling you the whole story? The answer, as you're about to find out, might just surprise you. And that brings us to what researchers are now calling the HDL paradox. It's this weird situation where the number we've been trained to think of as good might not actually be good enough. That improvement we see on paper, it could be masking what's really going on deep inside our bodies. And let's be super clear here, this isn't some fringe idea we're talking about. For decades, the medical playbook has been incredibly simple. Raise your HDL, period. It has been a cornerstone of cardiovascular health advice for a long, long time. But science is peeling back the layers, and it turns out there's a lot more to this story. So to really get to the bottom of this, scientists figured it was time to pop the hood, They decided to move beyond just counting the total amount of HDL cholesterol and start digging into the very nature of the HDL particles themselves. And that's exactly what a landmark study published in the Journal of Clinical Lipidology set out to do. The goal wasn't just to see if the HDL amount changed with weight loss or gain, but to understand how it fundamentally changes our HDL biology.
And get this, we're not talking about a small-scale experiment here. The researchers analyzed data from over 28,000 men and women. A sample size that massive gives their findings some serious statistical power. It makes the results pretty much impossible to ignore.
Okay, so here is the absolute key to this whole thing, the concept of HDL subfractions. See, HDL isn't just one monolithic thing. It's more like a team of different particles, and they all have different sizes, different compositions, and, this is the important part, different jobs. This is the key that unlocks the paradox. And this brings us to the study's big reveal, what I'm calling the particle size surprise. Because it turns out when it comes to your so-called good cholesterol, not all particles are created equal, not even close. Now, what this chart shows is just fascinating. The study found that the amount of very large HDL particles was almost twice as sensitive to changes in body weight compared to that total HDL number we're used to seeing on our lab reports. That is a massive difference. And this slide just lays out the central finding perfectly. When people lost weight, their number of those really beneficial, large HDL particles went up. But at the exact same time, the number of smaller, less effective HDL particles went down. They were moving in completely opposite directions. So why on earth does this matter so much? Well, it's because the size of an HDL particle is directly tied to how well it does its job. And that job is incredibly important for your long-term health. Probably the easiest way to wrap your head around this is to think of HDL as your body's personal artery cleanup crew. Their whole job is to cruise through your bloodstream, grab excess cholesterol, and haul it away before it can build up and cause problems. But here's the kicker. Not all the workers on this cleanup crew are equally effective. The large HDL particles, they're like these big, efficient super trucks. They're amazing at their job and are strongly linked to protecting your heart. And the small particles? Yeah, they're more like these dinky, less effective pickup trucks. And guess what? Research shows they are way more common in patients who already have heart disease. And this brings us right back to the heart of the paradox. You could have two different people who both lose weight and see the exact same improvement in their total HDL number. But under the surface, one person might have a bloodstream full of those super trucks, while the other has a fleet of those less effective pickup trucks. Same number on paper, but a completely different biological reality. This is exactly why we have to start moving beyond just looking at that one single total number. We are entering a brand new era of precision testing, where we can get a much clearer, more accurate picture of what's really going on. I mean, this quote from the study itself just says it all. You can have these huge, really meaningful biological shifts happening inside you that are barely reflected, or maybe not reflected at all, by the traditional cholesterol numbers we've relied on for so long. So what's the path forward? Well, it's actually pretty straightforward.
Step 1, we have to acknowledge the limits of only looking at total cholesterol. Step 2, we need to directly measure these different subfractions. And step 3, use that detailed data to get a true, high-resolution picture of our cardiovascular health. And hey, this isn't some science fiction stuff for the future. This technology is here right now. Advanced diagnostic tools like the LipoSpec platform can actually map out these subfractions, giving doctors and patients a level of insight that standard tests just can't touch. So the next time you look at your lab results, I want you to ask yourself this question. Is this one number telling me the full story about my health? Because based on everything we're learning, it might be time to start looking a little bit deeper. Thanks for watching.